Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please take your seats at this time as the program will begin momentarily.
Reporting results in multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary work. So when you have to, or when you want to publish your research in journals or conferences or other outlets, it's very important that you choose the right outlet for your work. And this basically comes from the relevance of your research. So you should have a clear idea for whom your work is most relevant and what is the target group you actually want to reach. So, and you should have very clear what results, findings, conclusions, interpretations are most important from your point of view. On the right side, you see a typical portal this is from the library of the TU Delft, where you have catalogs for each discipline, and here you should start to search for either conferences or journals to publish in and find related work, what you already should have done or have done at the beginning of your research project. In interdisciplinary publishing, it's very important that you get a bigger picture of what your research actually is addressing in a bigger context. So to what societal problem your research is related, and can you solve or bring a contribution to solve a problem in a bigger context. Also in multi-year projects, what specific part or result are you addressing now in this study you've done? So for example, in multi-year projects, there might be publications you do about the artifacts you've created, about the software. You would publish those in technical journals, but you could also do an evaluation of the software you did, which you might publish in HCI related outlets, or even evaluations that you do in learning science outlets, what we often do in educational technologies. Very important, and that has been stressed from the beginning of this course also, for publication in more and more journals, you need to have the ethical clearance of your ethical committee of your university or organization. So have your ethical clearance if you want to publish in higher impact journals and relevant outlets. Now another part, how do you work with citation and references? First of all, every external part of text you use and you find, either you use it in literal citation or any other way, you have to make this explicit. You have to cite the original author. And modern plagiarism checks, even if you use your own earlier publications, will detect this. So it's important really to make this clear where your work and where the ideas come from. So use the related work section to write about work of others and also the relation to your approach. In the discussion, then you reflect on your results in relation to others' results, and use a standard referencing style to do in-text citations and organize your references. And we will look at several ones. So here, for example, you find 4 different standards, and they all look a bit different. You also have underlying formats here as BibTeX, Research Information System, or EndNote XML. And those are rendered different in the references, and also the in-text citations are different. To give you an overview, here another one is added. IEEE typically use a numbered citation format. Here you see also how you use it in TeX. So there are a variety of formats and also formatting for the bibliography. So what systems you typically use to produce a report? You use any kind of text processor, Word, LaTeX, Open, document processing software. You use a reference management system, and you use typically libraries or reference sources. And those can import and export and interchange format flexibly. So you could write a first document about, to stick with the example we just had, for a technical report. You use the same references and you write a report in IEEE format, and in the next publication you can use from the reference management system your same sources and just format the output as an APA publication. So I think you should have these three components accessible when writing a scientific research report. One example from the reference management system, here it looks, this is Mendeley, another reference management systems which I use. You see different styles you can format the output in, so you can import from BibTeX also to Mendeley, so you can exchange all kinds of references between Google Scholar and Mendeley, and you can then export the complete text with the in-text citations and the reference section. What about data? So the data you collect in your research, you should store this data in standardized formats for your local work, as comma-separated files, SPSS, RData. It depends a little bit on what kind of system you want to use. Be aware of what you do with missing values. This is important. And when you publish open access, you should share your anonymized data with research data websites, as for example 40U Research Data, where you publish your text and your data together so that other authors could build on your work and continue that. Summary: be aware in planning your study about where you want to publish. This is good to discuss this already at the beginning with your colleagues, co-authors, and your team. Manage your sources, text, references, data in a flexible format that you can reuse them for different purposes. Read articles from the target outlet you want to publish in to understand the logic, to understand the formats, and so on. And of course, best publish open content, open data, and open source, and give out all the related work to continue science on your study. Thank you.